Hey guys, Hey Jay here with an initial impression of my thoughts of my playthrough of the demo of Octopath or Octopath Traveler, whatever the Project Octopath Traveler. What a freaking name right now. I really hope that they change that. So I just finished my playthrough of the first quest and half of the soldier's quest. So I played the dancer's quest first in its entirety, and then I played half of the soldier's quest. Just to get a good impression about the game, what the demo has to offer, and share that with you guys. So I put in about an hour into the game. The first storyline took me roughly 40 minutes or so. And I have to say right off the bat, great game. I loved what I saw. I used to play these 16-bit RPGs all the time when I was a teenager. The PlayStation 2 was my console of choice, and I played all of the classic Final Fantasy games, Chrono Trigger, all that. So I really love this genre, but I haven't really touched it in 10 plus years because of time constraints, and I just haven't really found a good RPG since that I've really enjoyed the same way. At least not in this style, not a 16-bit RPG. So what I really love about Octopath Traveler is right off the bat, I mean, they have this new 2D HD graphic style that they explained, and it works really well. It feels kind of like that Paper Mario feel where everything's 2D but everything's 3D. I feel that they kind of use that technique, but they took it so instead of the papercraft, all they did is 16-bit graphics and shading. And then they added 3D lighting, which is amazing. But what I found surprising even more when I was playing, I noticed that going back and forth through the foreground and background, the focus of the camera changes in real time to put in focus whatever layer your character is at. And I'm going to run some footage here, and you can actually see when I go back and forth here that the scene changes based on where I am. And I just, I actually stopped to appreciate the technological achievement that they've done here. I mean, this isn't crazy, hyper realistic graphics, but very, very cool technique that I've never seen in a video game before. So, visually, this game is impressive in its own right for someone who appreciates retro style graphics with a modern flair to them. That's exactly what this is. It's amazing. Then the sound is really good. You've got some very good audio, some good music. It carries a lot of emotion, a lot of weight in intense part, when you're facing off against the boss or even the battles. It's all new, so there's no nostalgia. You're not getting that Final Fantasy fanfare when you finish a battle. So I really feel that once I put 10-20 hours into the real game, because I am buying this game. This game is a for sure thing. This demo has sold me on it. I really hope that we're going to get some of those tracks which are really just going to stick with the player after they've turned off the game. But what I'm hearing so far is that it's really good, really good music that I can definitely see myself playing the soundtrack to this game when I'm not playing it. So we've got very good visuals, very good audio. The story is actually, it caught me off guard. It's a more in-depth story than I was expecting for a game with sprites and cute graphics and stuff like that. It's a very mature game that tackles very mature themes. I played the dancer storyline first, and it's basically the story of revenge of a woman who lost her father and basically went into the prostitution business to bide her time to find her father's killers. And that's just crazy to me that the themes that there are, you start off playing this character who's basically in a whorehouse dancing for other people, and you're dealing with your master who beats you and who makes all these remarks of basically raping you later. I've never seen this in my 16-bit genre games, and it's amazing. It feels like the genre has finally aged with its audience. And these are stories that just feel deeper already off the bat. It's not your typical classic let's go save the world or let's go. I mean, it probably will end up as saving the world, but it doesn't feel like your typical like teenage stories of main characters which are like 17, 19, and they're just leaving their village and going off to the world. Like these characters are all, at least the two that are presented, are already presented in much more mature themes. You know, you have the soldier who he already has a history. He was already an accredited knight and he lost his kingdom, his king, and everything. And now you have to, like, where do you go from there? It's all these stories of already built characters with an interesting past. And it, you know, how I can't even imagine what these other like 6 stories. So it's basically 8 characters, each having their own stories, and eventually I guess they intertwine. And just from the 2 that I've seen already, I'm invested. Like, it's good story, and there's a lot of story too. Even in these demos, most of the time you're spent reading because there's just so much story, and like the characters aren't annoying. And another thing about the story is the voice acting. So I started the game with English voice acting because I didn't know that I could change it to Japanese until like 40 minutes later. And I don't usually like voice acting in my games, but here it's done very well. The English voice acting is done very well, carries good emotion, doesn't sound cheesy. It's actually surprisingly good. That said, in a setting where you have text box and you're reading, you tend to read faster than you listen. So for someone like me, I tend to skip the cutscenes, or the dialogue. It's not cutscenes. I skip the dialogue and just read because it's faster for me, and I don't really I'm not patient enough to just wait and listen and like get into it. So I don't really care that much about the voiceovers, but I do appreciate that it's done very, very well. Then when I found out that I could do it to Japanese, I just rather have it in Japanese, just because since I'm not listening to the whole dialogue anyways, just having that tone, that Japanese tone, makes it cooler for me for some reason. So I'm going to be playing this game with Japanese voiceovers, but of course I'm going to read it in English because I can't read Japanese or understand it. So overall, very good. Now the battle system is not something I grasped from the Nintendo Direct, and I'll tell you, I don't think I grasped it on my first playthrough either, because I wiped on my first encounter with the boss, and I thought I knew what I was doing, but clearly I didn't. So I got killed by the boss, and when I restarted, I went through this little dungeon again, collected all the treasure chests, which caused me to level up 2 more levels higher. And then I went back to town and bought a bunch of upgrades, went back, and I beat him. And he was pretty challenging, even though like I prepared for him. But I really like the whole system of, so every enemy has a shield that you have to break based on number of attacks. So if you see like number 2 on their shield, that means that you have to attack them twice to break their shield. When you break their shield, their defense is down and they also can't attack you. So it's actually possible to go into random battles. Another thing, random battles. When I saw that happen, I was like, oh, random battles. I don't think I'm ready for that again. I thought we had moved away from that. I thought it was kind of an outdated model. But because of the combat system, I will accept random battles, because a lot of the times I was able to strategize my attacks so that the enemy couldn't attack me. Like, you just keep chaining combos to break them, and then you just spam attacks on them, and then you break them again, spam attacks, and you just keep recycling, and the enemy doesn't damage you. And on top of that, another reason random battles aren't annoying is your HP and MPs, or SP. All your gauges refill automatically after a battle, so the grind of random encounters is kind of taken away, because before, you're trying to explore. Like in these old games, you would try to explore and you get really frustrated because, well, I get really frustrated because you're trying to do stuff and you're always getting ganked, and then you have to use your potions, and like you're using up all your resources, and it's just a big pain. Like, I just want to explore. In this case, you're not punished to explore, which is what I felt the older games did. So very nice balance there. Really, like, I'm loving everything I see. So yeah, I love this whole charging system. So yeah, there's the shield in the combat, the shield system. Enemies are weak to different like elements and attacks, which shows up after you uncover what it is, which is really cool. And what's the third thing? Oh, the charging. So I love the effects of, like, you can charge your attacks. So if you just do like a base attack, you can, I don't know, you can like hold on to an attack, and then you can unleash up to like a level 4 attack depending on how long you hold back. And like just pushing, so you push R to charge it up, right? It goes like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And you can do this on all your attacks, your defense, your magic, and it feels like you're going Super Saiyan. Like, it's just awesome. So the combat feels great. The story is really cool. The music is great. The visuals are good. So like Project Octopath, man, very, very good first impression. I was not expecting this going in. It's going to be a Switch exclusive. It's coming out in 2018. I am definitely picking this up. Let me know if you got a chance to try it. If not, and if you do have a Switch, it's free. Go download it, spend an hour or two, play with it. Let me know what you think. And if you don't have a Switch, do you have any questions? What are you curious about this game? I will answer you in the comments below. So for more impressions, if you like this video and you want more of my thoughts on other games that are coming out, leave a like, leave a comment, and if this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.